What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is AC Auto, and today what we're going to be doing to my Genesis is we're going to be installing the TurboXs Downpipe. So I've had my catback exhaust for almost a year now, and it's time to make this thing louder. So the way the exhaust works on the Genesis Coupes from the 2010 to 2012, at least I know of, I'm not too sure about the 2013s and up, and also for the 2.0 turbos. So the way it works is you have your turbo. Right after your turbo, you have the O2 housing with your primary cat. Right after the O2 housing, you have your downpipe. And then the stock downpipe will stop right at your secondary cat underneath your car. And then after your secondary cat, you have your regular catback exhaust. So they sell just the downpipe, and that'll still keep your secondary cat underneath your car there, or they sell downpipes that also replaces the secondary cat. So that's what I have here. I have the TurboXs downpipe and test pipe put together, you want to call it like that, from generator.com, of course. Always buying my stuff from them. Huge thank you.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah. So I'm gonna open her up. Well, I kind of cheated already. I kind of opened it up already, and you know, Generator swag comes with your hardware, comes with instructions, I think, and then here's the downpipe. Let's get into this. One more thing, before we get into this and jack off my car, I'm gonna throw in some before clips of what it sounds like with the catback exhaust. And just keep in mind that I just did a cold start and it's like 65 degrees. So if you are in an area that it's colder, like 30 degrees, it's going to be a louder cold start. So just keep that in mind. But those video clips will probably be my blue Genesis that I had before this one. Alright, so for the bolts that come with the downpipe, and also I'm not 100% sure with the stock exhaust, for the nut you're going to need a 15mm socket, 15mm, and then for the bolt side of it you're going to need a 16mm.
Now we're under the car. We're going to start taking off the downpipe. Here we have the cat and Chris's aftermarket exhaust starts right here. So from the cat, that way we're taking off. We have an impact here, and Chris is gonna hold channel locks here to the 16mm side. And we're just gonna get going. And we're up at the top part from the cat and the bottom of the car. And it's a really tight fit. We couldn't fit the socket in there. So we're using a pair of channel locks on the nut, and we're using a 16mm wrench on the bolt part, which is up top here. I recommend using a ratchet wrench so it's easier to do, so you can just crank it. But in our case, we don't have a ratchet wrench, we just have a regular wrench, so I'm working with what I have. Now that we have the two nuts, two bolts out from the cat down here, we're over here at the O2 housing. We're going to take off these two nuts here. Due to a big amount of rust, we jumped up to a 19mm on the gun. We're just going to throw it up here and see if we get some action shots. Like butter. Some light. Yeah, that's right. We'll throw one right up here. Oh, I might need an extension for this. Guys, you should be wearing safety goggles, but you know.
Full sun.
Full sun. I recommend wearing safety goggles, okay? We took off this nut here, and this guy up here, he's in a tight spot, so we got a pro tip, just use an extender. Boom.
And if you're not using an impact gun and you're using a socket, you could also throw on
and extender onto the socket as well, not just for the gun. Ready? Here we go. Once you got the bolts and nuts off by the cat, bolts and nuts off by the O2 housing, you can see that we're very flimsy. So we have all the bolts off and we got rust in our eyes. You know how it works. So everything's off, and now you come over here, and all we have is the hanger. And the hanger is easy to take off. Just use a pair of channel locks, you twist, and we'll be right off.
Alright, sorry about all the static. The mic was acting up a little weird, so I'm just going to do a quick voiceover. So Anthony is actually taking the hanger off the car and not off the downpipe. So doing that is going to be easier. Doing this will allow us to put the new hanger on the new exhaust and put it onto the car a lot easier. Alright, in this clip what Anthony's doing is he's taking off the hanger from the stock exhaust and putting it onto the new downpipe. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you're pulling it off very carefully. You don't want to rip the hanger or make the hole bigger than what it is, because it has to be a tight fit on the new exhaust piece. And also when you're taking it off, you want to make sure that you're putting it back on the new piece the same way as it was on the stock piece. Right now we're underneath the car, putting the new hardware onto the catback exhaust. So make sure you got your bolt, the gasket flange, and then the lock washer and the nut. And we're going to go around and we're going to hand tighten everything. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on the hanger. And then we're going to go back after everything is hand tight, and we're going to go ahead and tighten everything up with the proper tools we need. Alright, so because my car was only sitting on the driveway for about an hour, the startup wasn't that loud compared to a cold start would normally be. But what are you going to do? So probably tomorrow or whatever, I'm going to record a cold start for you guys and put it in this video so you guys kind of hear what it sounds like. Because this startup was kind of just like a warm start from just sitting for an hour. So it wasn't really that loud, but we're going to give it some revs and see what it sounds like. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this install. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Something light.
Something light.
Something light. So at the moment my car has the TurboXs Downpipe. Also replaces the secondary cat in the car, and then I have the ISR catback racing exhaust on here. So sounds pretty nice. I just drove it around for a little bit. I'm gonna give you guys some revs and then some drive-bys, and then that'll be it. If you guys have any questions or any comments or anything about the car or the exhaust or whatever you want to call it, let me know. Peace out, guys.